Welcome back. Now, once you have the webinar section available, what you'll need to do here is you'll need to click this button that says Schedule a Webinar. The process is going to be very similar to creating a meeting. So you're going to write in all of your identifying information. Once you've determined the time and duration, you can then determine if it's going to be recurring or if it's going to be one time. You can require registration. You can also determine whether the host and panelists will have video. And in this case, we're going to leave the video turned off. And again, in most cases, you're going to want to make sure that both computer audio and telephone are available for individuals that are going to be attending, especially if you're going to have a webinar where you're going to have more than 100 attendees. What you can also do is require a webinar password if you want the content to be exclusive. You can also enable a practice session so that you make sure that all of your slides and all of your presentation is going to be in order before you go live with the webinar. And one thing that the webinar gives you that a meeting does not is that you can turn your webinar into an on-demand presentation where individuals will have to register, but what they'll basically be watching is going to be a recording. Once you have your settings the way you want them, you can then click the Schedule button. Now, once you've scheduled your call, you're going to want to scroll down and you're going to have other settings to work with. You need to customize your email settings, including the invitation email to your panelists, emails to your registrants, your panelists, and attendees. You can do all of that in this email settings section. There's also a branding tab. So using the branding tab, you'll be able to display your banner at the top of your invitation page. You'll also be able to upload your logo. If you want to add in information about at least 3 speakers, you can do that here in this section, including their photo, their name, their title, and their organization and bio. You can also customize your post-attendee URL. So for example, we can click this edit button, and what we can do is we can create a custom URL for the individuals to attend the webinar once it's complete. And we can make it easy to share on social media. If we click this edit button, we can write in our message for the webinar to be shared on social media. There's a tab for polls. So if we want to create a poll that we're going to ask on the webinar, we can click this add button and add in that poll for the actual call. We can then determine our Q&A settings. So for example, if we click this edit button, we can determine how we want questions and answers to be handled in the Q&A panel while we're giving the webinar. And then if you want to live stream, this panel doesn't connect you to anything. It just lets you know that you can take your live stream and you can make it available on Facebook Live and or YouTube. And once all your settings are configured, you can then click Start this webinar. And you'll notice the same panel as the online meeting, with the exception of you have a notice here that says that while you're in practice mode, attendees won't be able to join until you click this broadcast button. You are recording this session as you are working through your practice content. You'll then have available to you your invitation URL, as well as the ability to invite others by clicking this button. What you'll notice are all the same tools that you had available to you. You'll also see the Q&A tab, as well as the polls tab. And you'll also see in this More section that you can connect to Facebook as well as YouTube. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.